And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics, and now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to the intersection of business and politics right here on Robert Cardoza Live, where I do an honest, unbiased analysis of the issues confronting you today that affect the decisions that you're going to make for both your personal and your business life. I come to you every Monday through Friday on Spreaker Radio, Roar 1776 Radio, and MyCast Live Radio from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and also on 405 Media Radio every Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Pacific Time, in addition to countless terrestrial stations worldwide. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com for archives of all my radio and television shows. You can also access my show live right from my website each day simply by clicking on that little icon labeled Listen Live. Email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. That's where I get all the emails I deal with here on the show. And you can call into my show if you just want to comment or engage me in conversation about anything. Dial directly into the studio at 909-545-6516. Again, that number, 909-545-6516. Now, on today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I always do. Now, today, my expert contributor is David Garrett on the law, and my special guest is Dr. Stephen Tidwell with Tomorrow's Dentistry Today. But right now, I want you to know that at 3:05 p.m. Pacific Time, it's currently 97 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, let's talk about the news. You know, your daily look at late-breaking news, upcoming events, and the stories that'll be talked about today. First off, why opponents are so riled by Iran's nuclear deal. They're outraged that Tehran, who they say is a state sponsor of terrorism, will be getting $100 billion in relief from sanctions and claim that inspections will not be rigorous enough. The second item up is scant sympathy for refugees in Europe's ex-communist East. Even mainstream political leaders in these countries describe those fleeing war and persecution as welfare opportunists, terrorists, and carriers of disease. Next item up is our third item for the news, and that is at Ground Zero, 9/11 anniversary, now both public and private, while the memorial will still be reserved for victims, relatives, and other invitees during the morning ceremony. Afterward, it'll be open to those who want to pay their respects. Fourth capsule up is judge leaves the door open to reconsider Freddie Gray trials. Defense attorneys can revisit their change of venue bid if an impartial jury cannot be seated in the city. Next item up is shocked city assesses flood damage in Japan. Now, officials say 22 people are missing after the lost contact with them following requests for rescue. Next item up is what issues police body cameras actually raise. While the recordings may help get the truth of an incident, they also record distraught victims, grieving families, members, and citizens exercising their rights to free speech and civil disobedience. Next item is where drama mixes with crime in public reenactments. You know, Thailand's debate over their fairness and usefulness gets reignited when a key suspect in last month's Bangkok bombing retraced his alleged steps. Next item up, Biden unsure that he can commit fully to be president. Asked about his 2016 decision on CBS's late night show, the vice president says he may not have the emotional energy to run following his son's death to brain cancer. Next item up is nuns are baking altar breads for the papal mass in Philly. Religious sisters at the suburban monastery of St. Clair put in extra shifts for about 2 months to fill the order. And then finally, in our encapsulated system here, and we're going to talk about the same old Brady Gronk in NFL openers. Meanwhile, the opposing coach, Pittsburgh's Mike Tomlin, raises suspicions about something untoward going on at Gillette Stadium. Now, that's an encapsulation of what was going on during the news, the 10 things that you really needed to know that was going on. But we're going to go on a short commercial break, and then I'm going to get in depth with the news, the things that you'll find interesting, the things that you're going to need to know so that you can talk to your friends and your neighbors, and they'll know that you know what's going on in the world. So don't go away. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Do not go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what? I want to get in depth with the news here today. And so let's get right to it. You know what? First up, there's just so many things that are going on that you need to know about. We can't do it real in-depth, but we can really get a lot more into it for you. First off, Saudi Arabia, there's 87 dead in a crane collapse at Mecca Mosque. Now, here's the thing. A towering construction crane toppled over on Friday during a violent rainstorm in the Saudi city of Mecca, Islam's holiest site, crashing into the Grand Mosque and killing at least 87 people ahead of the start of the annual Hajj pilgrimage later this month. Now, images posted by social media users followed a grisly scene with police and onlookers attending to numerous bodies lying amid pools of blood on the polished mosque floors. Saudi Arabia's Civil Defense Authority provided a series of rising casualty numbers on its official Twitter account as ambulances whisked by the wounded to area hospitals. As of late Friday, which is today, it said those injured in the disaster numbered 201. A photo released by the authorities showed police and workers in hard hats inspecting a pile of collapsed concrete slabs inside a part of the sprawling, ornately decorated mosque. Another showed the base of the toppled red and white crane tilted upward at a sharp angle. Images aired on Saudi state television showed that the crane's metal boom smashed through what appeared to be the roof of the mosque. You know what? know what? Yeah, too bad we can't get some kind of a deal that says, you know what, we're gonna have one bad story and one good story. Unfortunately, it's all about the news. You know what news stands for, by the way? It's NEWS, right? Do you know what it is? Yeah, it's North, East, West, and South. That's where the word came from. Well, next up, it's 9/11 victims. Relatives mark the anniversary with grief and appeals. During years of going to Ground Zero every September 11th, Tom Acquaviva has seen crowds diminish at the ceremonies commemorating the terror attacks, but his determination to participate hasn't. As long as I'm breathing, I'll be there, Acquaviva, 81 years old, said today as he arrived to pay tribute to his late son, Paul. More than 1,000 victims, relatives, survivors, and recovery workers marked the 14th anniversary at Ground Zero with grief, gratitude, and appeals to keep the toll front of mind as years pass. It's a hard day, but it's an important day. I'll come every year that I can, recovery worker Robert Matacola said. But if the private ceremony is smaller than it's been in early years, the date also has become an occasion for the public to revisit Ground Zero, where the Memorial Plaza now opens to everyone on the anniversary. Around the country, the date was marked with what has become a tradition of lowered flags, wreath laying, bell tolling, and, in New York, reading the names of the nearly 3,000 people killed in the terror strikes at the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and the field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. One woman at Ground Zero collapsed during the ceremony, apparently overcome by grief. Bystanders helped her to her feet. Family members praised first responders, thanked the armed forces, and prayed for unity and security. They also sent personal messages to their lost loved ones. You are the reason that I wear this uniform and stand here today, Air Force Technical Sergeant Sparkle Thompson said of her uncle, Louis Anthony Williams. You know what? This is something that we just absolutely cannot forget. I could talk about 9/11 for a long, long time, but I think it's enough that you just think about what took place on 9/11 and never forget. It's not something we can ever forget. All right, let's get up. Police body cameras show more than just the facts. A Seattle man was arrested in January during a demonstration to protest police violence. Though he has yet to be charged with an offense, his arrest, captured on police body camera recordings, along with his full name, address, phone number, and birth date, are public records. The use of police body cameras, like those used in Seattle, is spreading to keep officers honest about using force against citizens. But how and when the public gets to see the footage, well, that's up for debate yet. Months after the arrest of Michael Monahan, the 32-year-old Seattle man, the Seattle Police Department said his case is under review. Monahan said he supports police wearing body cameras, but his own experience shows the unsettling consequences. That's a very dangerous weapon that they have there, Monahan said. Videos of police shootings across the country have become critical to determining what happened in situations that turn deadly. In some cases, strapping cigarette packs size cameras to officers' uniforms has been framed as a way to curb police brutality and stem deteriorating trust in law enforcement. It's not that simple. While the recordings may help get to the truth or an incident with police, they also record distraught victims, grieving family members, public people suffering from mental illness, and citizens exercising their rights to free speech and civil disobedience. Cameras may solve one problem, but create others. Any policy that categorically shields or opens up body camera footage is probably wrong, said Jay Stanley, a senior policy analyst with the American Civil Liberties Union. The use of police body cameras is still in its infancy, with no official count for how many of the 18,000 state and local departments have turned to those body cameras. But dozens of agencies across the country are testing them, and many have plans to roll them out more broadly. You know, it seems to be that's the way it ought to be. It seems to me that we're going to err on the side of being cautious, right? Well, a study backs more aggressive treatment of high blood pressure. Aiming lower saves more lives when it comes to controlling high blood pressure, says a major new study that could spur doctors to more aggressively treat patients over 50 years of age. Patients who got their blood pressure well below today's usually recommended level significantly cut their risk of heart disease and death, the National Institutes of Health announced today. The benefit was strong enough that the National Institute of Health stopped the study about a year early. This study provides potentially life-saving information, declared Dr. Gary Gibbons, director of the NIHS's National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute. Doctors have long debated how long blood pressure patients need to go, especially as they get older. Friday's results are preliminary, and researchers stress that they shouldn't alter patient care just yet. But if the full results pan out, they eventually could influence treatment and guidelines. That is good news, folks. Absolutely. Now, do not go away, because when we come back, we're going to deal with the IRS loses. Actually, the first case up is a case that the IRS conceded. It's a faulty S selection that was deemed effective. I'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Please, don't go away. We'll be right back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live, and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses: website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh yeah, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS loses. And the first case up is a case that the IRS actually conceded. It's talking about a faulty subchapter S election that was deemed effective. Now here's the case. A corporation with a subsidiary made an S election that reported to the IRS that it owed all of the subsidiary stock, or owned it actually, but later discovered that it did not. On finding the error, it had the subsidiary redeem all of the shares that it didn't own, and here's the IRS ruling. The subsidiary was not a qualified subsidiary when the S election was actually made because it was not 100% owned, so the S election was faulty. But a faulty S election can be deemed effective when the fault was inadvertent and promptly corrected upon being discovered. That was the case here, and the corporation had, in all other ways, acted properly as a subchapter S corporation, so its election was actually upheld. Now, that's really good news if you think about it, right? I mean, that's how I kind of feel about it. It makes it feel like really important good news, or at least it does to me anyhow. So here's the deal. What I want to do is I want to give you another case here, and that is that the IRS lost, and that's an appraisal is sufficient for gift tax purposes. Now, it gets a little technical, but listen to this. Huber Corporation has operated as a private business since 1883 and has about 250 shareholders, including extended family members, charities, and universities. Now, each year, an accounting firm appraises its stock's values, and the appraisal is used in various transactions involving the company's stock. But when family members used the appraisal to value gifts of shares to relatives, the IRS challenged it as being too low. Now, they went to court, and this is what the judge actually had to say about it. Over the prior 6 years, there have been 90 stock sales priced at the appraisal value, even though parties were free to negotiate another price. Now, this indicated that the appraisal was fair market value and sufficient for valuing the gifts. You know what? You ever hear the term common sense? Well, I'll give you this. The IRS doesn't know much about common sense, but that's what was actually going on here. Just common sense. Let me give you another case here. The IRS loses. Mortgage interest can be deducted as a business expense to boost tax savings. Let me tell you about it. Now, an individual deducted interest that he paid on a home equity loan as a business expense instead of as mortgage interest. This increased his tax savings because, unlike a mortgage interest deduction, the business expense reduced adjusted gross income, that's AGI, and thus increased other deductions with AGI-related limits. And business expenses are not subject to the general reduction of itemized deductions by 3% of the amount by which the adjusted gross income exceeds $150,500. Now, keep this though. The IRS disallowed the business deduction. Here's what the tax court said. The home loan proceeds were traced to a genuine business use. So the deduction is absolutely proper. And that's what you would expect to have happen, right? I know that's what I would expect, and that's what you'd expect too. Well, you ever want to be a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing stuff? Well, wait till you get this. Okay, so let me tell you about this. You ever think about this? When support becomes deductible? Yeah, listen up. When you pay more than 50% of the support for an individual, tax benefits can actually result. if an individual's income does not exceed $3,100, excluding tax-exempt income, such as from municipal bonds and tax-free portion of Social Security, you may be able to claim him or her as a dependent to obtain a tax exemption of $3,100. Now, even if the individual has income exceeding that $3,100, you may be able to deduct medical expenses that you pay on his behalf if the individual's a relative. Now, a relative is a parent, a grandparent, a sibling, a child, a grandchild, an aunt, an uncle, a niece, a nephew, or an in-law. Now, there's mistakes that go on here. Many people fail to claim these tax breaks because they provide less than half of the individual's income, and so mistakenly assume that they provide less than half of that individual's support. So this is key. Support includes only amounts that are actually spent on items of support, such as housing, food, clothing, and medical care. It does not include income that it's saved. Now, example, a child under the age of 24 goes away to college full-time, so the $3,100 income limit doesn't apply for purposes of taking a dependency exemption for him or her, nor does it apply to a child under the age of 19 in any circumstances. The child works at a part-time job during the school year and a full-time job during the summer and earns income that exceeds the amount that you pay toward the support. You can protect your dependency exemption for the child by having him save enough of his income so that you still provide most of the funds actually spent for his support. A retired parent has a pension and Social Security income while you pay medical bills for him. By having the parent save enough income in the bank, by putting money in the bank, he isn't using the money to pay for support, so that you pay more than 50% of the support in the form of medical payments and other items that you can get a deduction for the medical bills. So here's a tactic here for you. When several people together provide most of the individual support with no one person paying more than 50%, they can file a multiple support agreement, IRS Form 2120, that's multiple support declaration, to obtain a dependency exemption and assign it to one member of the group, which can actually change from 1 year to the next, provided that he pays more than 10% of the support. This also enables that person to deduct medical bills paid on that dependent's behalf. Now, do not go away. When we come back, we're going to be hopefully with our own Dr. Stephen Tidwell in Tomorrow's Dentistry Today. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the relationship building network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim the most effective networking in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Winery might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality, great grapes from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught in a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett, located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150, in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal service for 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000. The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:34 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 97 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, I want to tell you, it's not only hot outside, but we have got my good buddy, Dr. Stephen Tidwell, just waiting in the wings. And you talk about hot. I can't hardly imagine what he's going to be talking about. But you know what? Let's get him in here and find out what's happening. Okay, now we got you on, Steve. I'm sorry I had to stop you for a second. We had to get that introduction music going. Obviously, you didn't hear it on your side.
Just barely, yeah. I was caught it just after you said, hold on a second, then I could hear my theme song, and I had to wait it out. I love that song.
So listen, my friend, I haven't talked to you in a while. You're out getting recurring education, getting smart, leaving me in the doldrums here, not getting any smarter at all. I feel bad, and I think you're probably having a good time while you're getting that education.
Oh yeah, it's a tough thing to have to travel a little bit and go check things out. So yeah, I did learn a few things, but I mixed it in with the opportunity to do a little bit of touristy sort of things. I actually got to go to the eastern shore of the Chesapeake Bay.
Oh wow!
First ever visit out there, and I have to say that's pretty amazing country.
Yeah, I would think.
It is.
Yeah, I would think.
There's a few things that I was going to talk about today, and I wanted to kind of finish up just a little bit with the ongoing thing of why don't people go to the dentist, and fear is always number one, and it even colors everything else because everybody uses excuses like, I can't afford it, I don't have dental insurance, I don't have time for my job, whatever. Usually it still comes back to the same thing, that they're nervous about hanging out in the dentist office, and it's something that we totally understand and we get, and we figure that everybody is, and we treat them like they are, and then we usually get along pretty well. So, but moving on from just straight fear, finances are always a big part of it. I mean, dentistry, as with all the health professions, is become expensive, and especially if you need extensive treatment. That's why we really push preventative services. But if you are stuck in a situation where suddenly you're looking at needing a root canal and crown, an implant, something like that, even though we're still dealing with one tooth, your bill can go anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000, just boom, like that. And you go, how do we deal with that? I don't even have dental insurance. Well, everybody goes, what kind of insurance can I get, so that I can pay for that? And I will usually respond with, well, if I have to answer that question for you, you're asking that. Generally, that means that it's not offered in a group situation at your work. And if you're looking to buy it as a single person, I want you to think about it just a little bit. And remember, when is the last time you saw an insurance company that did not have a big building?
Yeah, that's an understatement, right?
Yeah, and I don't think they get those big buildings because they're paying out more than they're taking in.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And so, yeah, I mean, this is pretty simple, but you have to think about this a little bit. So, if you're a single person and you're going to use your dental insurance and you've got, a $2,000 bill that you want to get paid and you're expecting them to pay $1,000, you know what? They're not going to pay $1,000 to you until you've already paid them more than $1,000. So, when you're looking for insurance as a single person, it's pretty tough. Now, you get in a group, and the reason that a group works for you is that even in people that have great dental insurance, utilization of a group for dentistry is still way under 50%. And I've even heard numbers in the order of 30 and 40% utilization. So if all those people are paying in and you're the only one who's using it, it works out pretty nice for you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But as a single person, you're kind of stuck.
Well, at one time, Steve, and I'm going to make a comment, but I don't even know that what I'm going to say is accurate, because I'm going to go back many years ago, and I actually had an independent dental insurance program that I got involved in, and supposedly what they would do, and this was many years ago, and what they would do was they would give me 50% off, because my insurance would pay 50%, and then I had to pay the other 50%. In reality, when I was doing that, I was honestly feeling like, they weren't really paying 50%. It seemed like my 50% was like full blast. Has that really changed any? I mean, do you actually have insurance and you pay a nominal copay now, or do you still have a big bill even though you have the insurance?
Well, here's the thing. There's three different kinds of insurances that are out there. You've got, what we call the real high-end stuff, people that are CEOs and things like this that get it. And those people will have, either no maximum amount limited or a very high amount, maybe $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and they may end up paying as little as 10 or as much as 20% of the overall bill, and the insurance will pay the rest. You don't find that very often, and it's funny because usually those are the people that can really afford it to begin with, but they're the ones that have the super insurance. Then you'll have what we call a PPO, preferred provider option. And what that does is then you'll have an opportunity for your insurance to pay anywhere from, now it's about $1,500 to $2,500 per year, based on the fees that they will contract with the dentist. Usually a slightly reduced fee, and then that's the preferred provider part. And then they'll pay a percentage of the billed amount, and then the patient is responsible usually for a deductible and whatever's left over. For instance, x-rays, cleaning, examination, those are preventative services. Usually they are happy to pay for that at 100%, and because they want you to go and do that. It saves everybody money. When you go to fillings, they'll usually pay 80% of the contracted fee. Crowns, either 80 or as little as 50% of the contracted fee. So, and that's only up to that annual maximum. Now, if you've got a $2,000 bill, for a procedure, and they're going to pay $1,500, you may not even get the full $1,500. They're going to pay a percentage up to that amount. So they may pay, $1,200 or something, depending on how the contract is written and, what their percentage of the procedures that's being offered and done. But the way I look at it is that it's kind of like somebody handing a check for anywhere from $1,000, $1,200 and saying, here you go. It's better than not having it. So that part is nice. The other option is what we call an HMO. It's a health maintenance organization, and that one, that's a little like, and its offshoot on that is just a discount plan. With a health maintenance organization, what happens is that you become part of a group, and then that group contracts with dentists. They pay them pay the dentist per person in the group a set amount, depending on the contracted amount. On some of them, they may pay $10 a head. They may pay $7. Some may pay $15. And usually, like a family, maybe it'll cap it off at $15 or $20 per month, whether you're seen or not. So if the patient comes in for treatment, the dentist is getting the same amount as if they weren't coming in for treatment.
Right.
Now, there may be some minimal copays. Again, cleaning, x-rays, exam, all that sort of stuff is there's zero copay. But you may get a crown for, $1,000 crown retail. You may be asked to pay a copay as little as $100, $150, which is great for the patient. But the dentist is only getting that $150, which barely covers the lab bill, let alone staff, materials, and all the rest of that. And plus he gets the $10 a month.
Yeah.
So many times what you find as a patient is you call for an appointment, they say, sure, I'll see you in about 3 months. Well, at least they're getting, $30. And then when you want to reappoint for treatment, well, we'll see you in another 3 months. And they're kind of hoping you'll forget about it and cancel, and they'll go another 3 months because they're making money when you don't come in.
Right.
They are making money when you're coming in.
But that's kind of the premise of insurance, right? You get a large base of people paying a moderate amount of money for insurance, and you're hoping that the majority of people are not going to use it. That helps pay for the ones that do use it, right?
Right. And, of course, the bottom line is that the people that are offering insurance are not doing that for free. They want to make money. They don't care if the dentist makes money. They're really not terribly concerned whether or not the patient gets treated properly. They just want to make money. And, that's what they're doing. They're in business. So it's, people will sometimes think insurance is the end-all, get-all, and I've seen people let their teeth go completely to pot when all they needed to do was just come in and spend. If you have no insurance, zero insurance, it's going to cost you about $250 a year to have 2 cleanings and an examination. That's retail. Yeah. And, you can't buy dental insurance for that. And you're at least heading off most of the big problems, and you're not going to have to be coming up with big dollar amounts waiting until something hurts. So
let me ask you this, Steve. When a person gets dental insurance like this, does that dental insurance only cover the general practitioner, or is it broad based? Does that dental insurance cover a lot of different specialties?
Usually, dental insurance will go to the specialties as well. Again, within those differing types of insurance, your high-end insurance, you can take it anywhere. Your PPOs, again, to use it as the preferred provider option, you have to find a specialist that is contracted with that. And usually it's not too hard to find. Most decently paying preferred provider option PPOs have a spectrum of specialists and quite a number of general dentists that will accept their contract. And, most of my specialists are real happy to work with all of the PPOs that I'm involved with. Now, there's some that, they don't charge you much. They don't offer you much. And on some of those, we go, it's just not worth it for me to do that.
Yeah.
So, there's times where we have, and there are ways that you can actually negotiate with a lot of these insurance companies. A lot of people, especially dentists, didn't know that. I just found out myself here recently. You're not stuck with that fee. You can actually go, hey guys, your fee is what I'm contracted for is just way below the standard of what's out here. You're going to need to bring that up by 20% or something like that, so that I can keep using you. And a lot of times, as long as you do that in the right way, a lot of times they will go ahead and upgrade. Okay,
so Steve, unfortunately, we've got to take a break. When we come back, you can give your contact information. We'll be right back with our own Dr. Stephen Tidwell with Tomorrow's Dentistry Today. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own Dr. Stephen Tidwell in Tomorrow's Dentistry Today. And today, Steve is talking about insurance. And I think this is really, really interesting and valuable, Steve, because I think a lot of people have a misconception about the cost of dental insurance and what it actually covers and what it doesn't cover. So this is a really timely subject for you to bring up today.
Well, thank you, Bob. And I would say timely is the key word there, because right now we've turned the corner past the middle of the year. We're heading into fall. And what that means is that most everyone's dental insurance has a specific amount of money that is allotted each year. And it's a use it or lose it thing. If you have $1,500 or $2,000 of maximum and you don't use it, it doesn't carry over. It isn't one of those we can save those minutes till next month, you know. It's use it or lose it. So it's really a good time for people that have dental insurance to get their checkups and get in before the big end of the year rush when everybody's going like, oh my gosh, I forgot I've got to use this money or it's gone. And so you need to start thinking about getting those examinations and getting in for cleanings when it can be done conveniently, instead of like, gee, I've got one opening here a week from Thursday at 2:00. I'm going to ruin your whole day. So that's the only time I can see you. So this way, you still have plenty of time to figure that all out. So it's a good time to use that insurance.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, you know what? I'm kind of excited because I know you went for, or have I got the timing right? You went for a recurring education on your new machine, didn't you?
That'll be next weekend that I'm going to do that. Though I have gone several times on new things on the machine, but it'll actually be next weekend. I'm going to have to go all the way to Vegas. It's going to be a brutal thing, Bob.
Oh man! You realize, Steve, that it's going to be 108 in the shade out there, 110 in the shade out there. It'll be humid. You're going to get shocked every time you touch something. On the other hand, you're probably never going to get out of that air-conditioned comfort, are you?
I was just going to say, Bob, and on the 8th day, air conditioning was created. Yeah, I'm planning on staying where it's very cool. So I don't see any reason. They aren't having any of the seminars or any of the shows out on the sidewalk. It'll all be well inside a cool and air conditioned, wonderful building that has no clocks.
You know, it couldn't be any better than that, right?
It really can.
Yeah. So listen.
But in speaking of recurring education, last night I was able to take in a seminar, a lecture by a wonderful woman, a hygienist, and she talked about about some really exciting new things having to do with cavities and things that, you know, even as dentists, we sometimes kind of realize but really hadn't totally defined. And, you know, first of all, you know, it's cavities is you know, preventable and curable. We know that.
Yeah.
You can get fillings done. But it's an infectious disease and it's transmittable. So it matters a little bit about where and who you grew up with, because you can get cavities by being around other people. It's a bacterial disease.
Oh.
For instance, we actually have the American Dental Association actually has came out with a caries risk assessment form, and it was very interesting. Some of the things that are on this, for instance, fluoride exposure. Do you drink bottled water or do you drink fluoridated tap water? And if, like most people, especially in California, you drink bottled water, you're missing out on fluoride in your water supply, which makes a difference. You will grow more cavities. There's actually some statistics showing that by eliminating fluoridated water, children at different age groups showed not a marked, but an amazingly increased amount of cavities.
Wow.
So it was crazy. Another one, of course, sugary foods, and everybody would expect that.
Hey, Steve, I've got to stop you for a second, because I had somebody ask a question that I've just got to ask you this question, and I'm assuming that you know the answer to this, and you've probably actually experienced this from time to time. But this listener is asking a real serious question, and it says, ask Dr. Tidwell if you can get cavities from kissing.
You know, it's funny you should say that, because not only yes is the answer, but back in the day, I remember my cousin's wife, they actually went through a phase. I don't know where she grew up, because I never heard of this. They would actually, before they would seriously consider going out on a date, she would actually want a note from the dentist.
Hell,
I've got screenings for school kids. I've never actually had somebody say, you know, I don't know if I really want to kiss this girl.
You know what? I could get thrown off the air, so I'm going to be careful about where my mind is going with this.
Yeah. Anywho, you know, one of the surprising things on the cavities, getting back to the reality here, that I thought was interesting is, are you eligible for a government program such as WIC, Head Start, Medicaid, or, you know, the FCHIP? And the answer is yes, and you're instantly a high-risk cavity person.
Wait a minute. Could you repeat that one more time?
If you're eligible for government programs, government assistance programs,
yeah,
you are automatically a high risk for cavities.
You're saying that if somebody is just sort of down and out, they're having a tough time, they're on Medicaid, they are more prone to cavities?
Yeah.
Is it because of their dental? Is it because they get a lack of? Is it because they get a lack of dental hygiene? Is that why?
There's some of that. It's I think it's statistical. There's a lot of I think sociological and environmental issues involved in that. But having worked in low-income areas, a lot of times a lot of those people have a higher increased amount of decay. And the thing about it is some of that has to do with not getting to the dentist on a regular basis, can't afford it. And those are the people that are eligible for these programs. And then, possibly not, not as much. There's a lot of issues on that. You can think about that. Environmental, you can see that. You're in a situation where there may be, you have your caregiver has, and it may not be apparent even. Caregiver may have cavities of some sort, and again, it's a transmittable disease. It just seems that what they've seen statistically is that is, and that brings me to the next one. It's Carrie's experience of the mother, caregiver, or other siblings. And if those people have had cavities in the last 6 months, you're suddenly a high-risk patient.
Wow. Wow. Well, our guest is actually saying that, besides it's poor food choices, sugary and starchy choices, and using food stamps. Now, the food stamps don't actually exist anymore, do they? Don't they use these EBT cards now?
Yeah, you got your EBT card, and there's a lot of those sort of things. But yeah, and many times, a lot of food choices on those aren't as good as they should be. And again, even on the people that have those that are eligible for like the state-supported dental plan, I'll tell you, the dentist, what you get from that plan has just deteriorated so poorly, so amazingly. It's gotten to be so bad that we can pull teeth and we can do a cleaning once a year, and that's it. You're pretty much, that's about all you're going to get from the state anymore. Yeah, there's a few other things that you get, an occasional filling, and kids get more than adults, but it's really pretty tough.
So when you said Medicaid, but for older people that are on Medicare, do they have a dental option that they can actually partake in as well?
I'm not totally sure on that. With Medicare, there is, I believe there is something that helps a little bit with dental. It's not true dental insurance, and there may be an add-on with that. But I've had some people that come in with Medicare, and I remember my front office saying, "Well, sometimes that'll get you with this. Do you have that?" And I don't remember the specifics on that. It's a good question, Bob.
So let me ask you this, because we talked about the insurance and we talked about the benefits of getting that. Can we talk a little bit about the cost, where from the ridiculous to the sublime on dental insurance? Is it all over the map as far as the costs of that, or is it a reasonable amount? Is it $10 a month, $30 a month, $100 a month? What can a person expect?
Well, it all depends again on what you want. It's like buying a car. Which car do you want, and what do you want it for? And you can get yourself a little, the little mini compact smart car or something like that. That it may not cost you too much, or you can.
Hey, Steve, you there?
Dave, yeah.
Oh, hey, Dave, hang on. I think I hung up on Steve Tidwell. Hey, Steve, if you're out there, just call back in, will you? I don't know, but David, I don't know what happened here. I was talking to. I know exactly what I did. I was talking to Steve Tidwell, our dentist, talking about tomorrow's Dentistry Today, and you came up, and instead of adding the call, I hung up on him and put you on.
Oh, no.
So I don't know if he's going to be. He probably doesn't even know that he's been disconnected, to be honest with you. So listen, you're our resident legal expert. Let me ask you this dental question: if cavity is filled, is the bacteria transmission still possible? I doubt it. Actually, I don't doubt it. I think it is still possible. Unfortunately, Steve is not here, and I lost him. He doesn't know he's off the air. So in any event, what the heck? We're gonna just go on it. I think what I'm gonna do, David, is I'm gonna go to a commercial break. I want you to think about all the fish that you've caught in the last week or so. Tell me all about that, and then and I know we've got some legal stuff that you want to talk about, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely got that.
Super. Listen, we'll be right back with our own David Garrett on the law right after these brief messages. So please don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:06 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 97 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, I can't hardly believe this. It says the high today was 106, and it's on its way to 70. So, who the heck knows what's going on? I have no idea what's going on there. But in any event, we have got our own legal guru waiting in the wings. So let's get him in here and see what's going on for today.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the bowels of the Hall of Justice, our own legal guru, David Garrett, attorney at law.
Hey, David, welcome aboard. I had kind of a snafu. I'm so unaccustomed to all of this equipment working properly that I just start hitting buttons and don't have a clue about what it is that I'm actually doing. And so I wanted to add you into the board, and instead of doing that, I accidentally hung up on Dr. Tidwell and brought you up live. So, what the heck? It couldn't get any better than that, right?
No, I tell you.
The thrilling part about it is that, I mean, the board's working right, the technology's working right, everything is working properly. I'm excited about that. Now, if I could just learn to hit the right buttons at the right time, everything would be perfect. So listen.
What was the old computer term for that? GIGO or something like that? Garbage in, garbage out?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So listen, I want to know, do you have a freezer full of fish?
I'm making my way there. In fact, I'm going to go buy another freezer this weekend. So we're getting there. I got out fishing, got a couple of, I wound up with 5 yellowtail here the other day and ended up pawning it off on the neighbor. And so, it's time to get another freezer there. But it's just an amazing summer for fishing this year if you're in Southern California.
Yeah, I heard that. So listen, what's new and exciting in the world of the law?
Well, I had a couple of updates on topics that we've talked about in the past, and then I thought maybe we'd muddle into the world of marriage licenses and that lady back in Kentucky that seems to have no end of trouble on.
Oh yeah. It just keeps going. You know what? It sounds like it's going to be interesting. So let's get right into it, because I have my opinions. Unfortunately, you and I seem to actually agree on most of these things all the time. So let's see where we're headed and what we do with it.
Yeah, definitely. As I had been watching this, I've just kind of sat there and shaking my head. I get on, I turn the TV on, and 1 minute she's in jail, and next minute she's out, and I don't know what on earth's going on back there, but it seems like the most recent that's occurred is she's again refusing to do it. And we've got a judge now that's probably going to give her a place to stay for a little bit.
Well, now, you know what I don't understand here? I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, right? Here's the thing. If she has a religious objection to this, and I understand that, but, that doesn't mean that, she's an elected official. She took an oath to comply with the law. The Supreme Court, the law of the land, says, hey, you got to do this. If she's still religiously opposed to this, why doesn't she just resign and be done with this?
You hit my issue directly right on all fours. It would seem to me that, and I have sympathy for the lady. The Supreme Court case obviously came in after she was elected to that position, and she didn't know she was going to be put in this place. But I think that if she's not going to follow the law of the land that the Supreme Court said, and she can't do it for religious reasons, she's probably not qualified to hold the position she has, and she ought to resign.
Yeah. The thing is that, the judge has done, I think, everything that he can possibly do. Basically, he's not even asking her to resign. Just, you know what? Let the other clerks do this for you. If you have an objection, just get out of the way, right? But, she has to make this stand. Now, having said that, what I'm not understanding is why they're actually making the example of her. There's about 19 different county clerks in different states that have refused to actually issue these wedding licenses, and I don't understand why just the one judge has all the intelligence in the world, and he's the one that throws the one gal in jail.
I think she's probably the example for the two sides on this particular issue. I feel relatively confident that the other places are just kind of sitting back, waiting to see, what happens in this particular one, and the outcome of this will probably dictate what happens in the other 18, 19 cases.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's an interesting concept all the way around the parameters of it, but we've dealt with this issue before. We dealt with it back during the civil rights moments and everything else. When one segment of society didn't like a particular ruling of the Supreme Court, and the lady is just, quite frankly, putting the judge in a no. Well, it's not a no-win, where he doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
If she's not going to follow the law, then, he's going to have to hold her in contempt, because it doesn't sound like he can remove her from office. So, he'll just keep her there until, they figure it out. And it's kind of an interesting area of the law, because it brings you into that civil contempt proceeding. It's like going to jail with an indeterminate sentence. Well, keep you there, but the reality is she holds the key to the lock. She can get out anytime she wants to. She just has to say, I'm going to comply with the law. So, or, in her case, I'm not going to stop anybody else from complying with the law.
Hey, David, hang on 1 second. We've got a caller. Ann is calling in, and she's got a question for you. Do you mind taking a question?
Sure.
Ann, you're on the air with Robert Cardoza Live.
Thank you, Robert. Hi, David. Well, this is not related to the county clerk, but I have a neighbor law question.
Okay.
I wondered if you could help me with. First of all, I really wish we could make neighbor law more clear. Have better laws about that. It's bad. And
so, Ann, are you saying neighbor law or labor law?
Pardon me?
Ann, are you saying neighbor law or labor law?
Neighbor.
Okay.
Person that lives next door to me.
Ah.
This is what happened. We've had problems with him. And the other day, out of my garage, and I saw that he was sweeping. So I waited for him to finish his sweeping and go back into his parking pad. Then I proceeded to drive. He saw me. He came back out. He gave me an evil look. And as I was driving in this single car alley, he turned his back to my car with a broom, was pretending to sweep and taking little baby steps to back into my car.
Oh, you're kidding.
And now he's in law enforcement, so it looks like, and he has cameras, but the cameras.
Okay, now hang on a second, Ann, because what you've got to do is capsulate this. You're getting into a long, blown story.
No, I am. I'm wrapping it up.
Okay.
There's this block wall that blocks the camera, and the camera would not see his feet. So they would just. It looks like he's framing me for assault.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it. So he just wanted to keep you from leaving the driveway.
I was driving down the alley. No driveway. I was driving down the alley, and he was in the alley, and he turned his back to my car, so he was perpendicular to my car, and he started backing into taking baby steps to back. So his butt was an inch from my car as I drove by.
So you couldn't. You actually couldn't. You actually could not comfortably drive by and feel safe, right?
No, I could not. I know he was intimidating me, and I don't know, because he is in law enforcement, was he framing me for assault?
Well,
that's the question. What's my recourse? I feel harassed.
I think what I'd do is I'd take your cell phone camera and take a little picture of him as he's doing this stuff, and if you need to, call the police, report him, and alternatively go to court and get a restraining order against the guy.
Now that sounds like good advice, David.
Well, I have to tell you that they will not do a restraining order. There has to be more proof, and a policeman would not take a report on it. And he said, and the restraining order is only for 21 days. And it's $3,000. Easy said, but it's $3,000 to get it.
Hang on, Ann, because we only got 1 minute left, and I need him to answer your question.
Yeah, the temporary restraining order is for 21 days, and then it can become permanent for however long the judge decides to do it. Normally, it's 2 or 3 years. You said.
But what about the $3,000?
Well, I don't know where you got $3,000 from. This is something you can go to court and do on your own.
What's $3,000, Ann?
Legal fees.
Oh no, you can
have an attorney do that.
Yeah, well, that's if you pay an attorney, but I mean, you can go down there, get the papers, fill them out, and go in with your video camera and show the court what the guy's doing. It sounds to me like the police is just taking your word against his, and that's why I would encourage you to videotape the guy. It sounds to me like he was either trying to stop you from going or trying to set up a staged action of sorts. So I would definitely have my camera out there when I caught the guy doing this. It's probably going to take more than one single time to get the restraining order, but you're going to have to show a pattern of what the guy's doing.
Okay, unfortunately, we're running out of time, and Ann, you're breathing hard, so take it easy over there. And I hope that... you're really breathing hard. I can hear it. Anyway, I want you to take it easy and relax. And David, we're going to be back after these brief messages. Do not go away. We'll be right back with David Garrett on the law.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:22 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 97 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, we're talking to our own legal guru, Mr. David Garrett on the law. Hey, David, let's get back to it. I think Ann got a little confused about what was going on and what her rights are with regard to her neighbor. I mean, you know what? I actually have sympathy for somebody who is fearful of a neighbor that's trying to intimidate the neighbor. And here's the other thing. The guy's a police officer. So, I mean, that makes it even worse for Ann in this particular case. She's afraid to do anything, and she can't get the cooperation from the police department. But you hit the nail on the head. I think you did anyway. And that is you know what? She's got a phone with all this technology that she was talking about. Just take a picture of this guy or a video of this guy doing this stuff. Get 2 or 3 and just keep track of 2 or 3 of these little incidents, and then use the Nolo press, do whatever you want to do, and go down and fill out the paperwork. You show it to the judge, you'll get your a temporary restraining order, or you can ask for one that's permanent.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be many judges that would be impressed by a police officer pulling off what she describes, and if she shows that a couple times, I know what the judge is going to do, and it'd be kind of fun to send the video to the, I want to call it internal affairs, but that's not it. Consumer. Consumer affairs. The police department, where they deal with the public and just file a public complaint against them. Let those guys talk to them about how smart that is. Yeah,
absolutely. That's how I feel about it. And I think Ann is a little intimidated, or at least that's how it sounds to me. And she's afraid that this guy might, cause some repercussions or something. The other thing is that, unfortunately, if she gets so fearful about this thing and she moves away, there's, all she's going to do is sell her house and have to buy another house. She's not going to get any kind of compensation for that. She's a lot better off getting the legal system involved to get this guy to stop.
Oh, you bet. And, I don't think she should be intimidated by the fact the guy is an officer. I mean, when I was, been 20, 30 years ago, I had some guy trying to get me to make a contribution to one of these charities, that they call you about on the phone all the time. And I'd heard about these charities of some police officers association, and they would market it out to a marketing company, and then these guys would call you, and they'd hit you with, they would retain 90% of what they collected and give 10% to the charity.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, this guy gets hold of me and bugging me about it. I said, look, I'm not going to do that. And his comment to me was, well, we'll just tell them that the next time that you need police assistance. And, that kind of upset me back then. So I filed a police report on the guy for extortion. I don't know if anything ever came of it, but it was, the reason I bring that story up is it was kind of funny to see that thing in the news here where that one officer told this guy he wouldn't give him a ticket or something if he bought a couple of tickets to the policeman ball, and see how well that went over.
Yeah. You know what? I think you're a lot like I am. I'm not easily intimidated, and I don't like to be pushed around. You know what I mean? Especially when you get these kind of farce kind of thing going on. It just drives me nuts. I don't know if it's happened to you. Just recently, I received a phone call. It's kind of an anonymous type of phone call in that this guy calls and he pretends to be from Microsoft saying that they have taken note that there's something wrong with my computer, right? Well, here's the thing. First of all, why is he calling me on the phone and I've got an unlisted number? 2, why isn't he just emailing me on my computer? And he can't tell me anything is there. And luckily enough, I had just that day had my entire system reworked. So I knew it was pure as the driven snow, right? And I just got so incensed. I can't repeat the words that I used with this guy on the phone, but just drove me nuts.
Oh, yeah, just another scam artist. Yeah, I'm just like you. They just drive me up the tree.
Yeah, I just hate it. And by the way, are you familiar with the donotcall.gov thing?
Yeah. I've registered my phones on that, particularly my cell phone, and
well, it helps a little, but it doesn't eliminate these calls, you know?
No, I've noticed that. And I had one company that just wouldn't get the hint. And they happened to be a California company. And they would calling me. And I finally said, well, I'll just fax you something here. And I just faxed them down and demand to take me off their list. And told them the next call I had to file suit because there's, I think, a $10,000 penalty or something.
Ooh.
And, I guess maybe it being on attorney stationery, they figured maybe I'll stop. And I never heard from those guys.
It's just so aggravating. And I just, you know what really aggravates me more than anything else is that I don't have the phone sitting by my side. I've got to get up and walk over to the phone to answer it, right? That's what ticks me off because I answer it and it's one of these BS calls and I just hang up. I don't even answer. I don't even talk to these guys anymore. I just hang up and it just really irritates me.
Oh, yeah. Those kind of things. I don't know. They need to do a better job of enforcing that stuff. They really do.
Yeah. And the thing is, and they don't have caller ID, right? So, because it just says out of area or private number or something like that. So you can't even report them because you don't even know who to report them to.
Right. Yeah, it's just very obnoxious and. And I'm finding that there's some way to spoof the number on phones. And if you got a certain phone system, you can type in a number and it'll come up with
star 69 or something like that.
Put in there, and I don't know, just modern technology sometimes doesn't help us a whole lot.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? Anyway, I went off on a tangent, and I didn't mean to, but it just, while we were talking about this stuff, it was just starting to just bug the living daylights out of me. I've got my cell phone is on it, my wife's cell phone's on it, my home phone is on it. Everything is on this thing, but the phone still rings.
Yeah.
And you know what, inevitably what happens? The phone rings while I'm on the air.
Oh, yeah. Murphy's Law.
Yeah. One of these days, what I got to do is, when somebody is calling one of these solicit kind of things, I need to plug that right into my master board here and actually talk to this guy on the air and see how long that would go.
Oh, that would be priceless. I like that.
Yeah, I think I've got to figure out. I don't know that I could do it on my main phone, but my cell phone, I could plug that one right into my mixer board, and there's got to be a way to do this. Must be. Yeah, there's a headphone thing on it, so I ought to be able to do it, but just not sure how.
Oh, that would be fun. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Talking about cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
That brought one thing I just wanted to update to mind, and let me just bring this up. You remember us talking about that thing called Stingray?
Yeah.
Where they had these boxes and these phony cell towers that the police were using, and they could just run around and capture everybody's
the information. Yeah, the data trapping.
Yeah, there has finally been a little bit of logic applied to this, at least at the federal level. And what they've done is now come out with a policy that they actually have to have a warrant to collect that information absent exigent circumstances or exceptional circumstances. And the exigent circumstances are something that, where evidence is going to be destroyed, that there's not enough time to get a warrant. I'm not sure what they think exceptional is, but it sounds like they finally are starting to listen on that. The interesting part about this is it seems to have expanded. There's 21 states and the District of Columbia with these fake towers floating around. I think last time we talked there was maybe 9 or 10 of them out there. And it doesn't apply to a state or local government. So this is a federal-only thing, but I mean, if the feds are going to set the way, the path being that way, I think eventually we'll get to that point where it'll be applied across the board. So,
yeah.
I mean, it was nice to see that come down. This random collecting of information is, I'm just not real impressed with that approach.
I'm not either. And first of all, I mean, if it was something serious enough, they know enough in advance that they could just go ahead and get the, I don't know, would you call it did you call it a court order?
Yeah,
a subpoena or a warrant. I don't. If it's something that's that serious, police officers, they're not. The police departments are not that obtuse. They know when they're planning something, when they're doing something. For Pete's sake, just go ahead and get the warrant.
Yeah, just do it. Just do it. Leave the rest of us alone. So
yeah. Yeah. Now, speaking of warrants, and we've only got about 4 minutes left, but speaking of warrants, I saw on television one time, I think they referred to it as a dummy warrant, and it's these warrants that they have in their filing cabinet. They're just kind of blank, but they're all signed off and ready to go. Do those things really exist, and they just fill in the blanks after the fact?
No, they really don't. It's not like what you described, but they've got basic warrant packages that have, it's kind of like a canned template, and it'll have all the stuff in there, and then somebody will go in and fill in whatever sentences they need there for that particular situation. But then the judge actually has to sign off on it. It has to be presented to a judge.
Now, do they generally do that via fax or email or some kind of transmission, or do they actually have to hand carry that over to the judge?
Generally, I see them going in and out of the courtroom all the time with them. Each court will have appointed, I think it's virtually on a 24-hour basis, one judge that has that particular duty, and it rotates so that they're not all on the hook all the time to deal with the warrants and get them signed. That's my understanding of the way the process works. So.
Well, it's, what, I still think, even though it's inconvenient for law enforcement, I think that, the general public, the citizens need to have some protection anyway under the law.
Oh, yeah. And, and the reality is in a lot of these cases, there's always that exigent circumstances argument where they don't have to get a warrant if, say, for instance, somebody runs in the house and with their bag of dope and heads to the bathroom to flush it down the toilet.
Yeah.
Exigent circumstances will let them go in there and do that. There simply isn't enough time to get a warrant before the information will be gone. So, I mean, most times the warrant is very, I think it's a good procedure because if you have enough time, I mean, let's explain it to a judge, at least have him make the probable cause determination and before you run around violating people's rights.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I just, more and more, I start looking at some of, especially with all the politics and all the things that are going on. I listen to the politicians who have their heads stuck in the sand. I was actually thinking of someplace else, but I could say the sand. I couldn't say where I was thinking. Anyway, all of these politicians all seem to have a different take on what the law is and what supersedes what. How does anybody get to be at a stature that they would be running for president of the United States and haven't had enough civic lessons to understand the superiority of the Supreme Court?
I don't understand that. Just don't understand it. Narcissism kind of comes to mind where they think they're at the top of the food chain and the law is whatever I say it is kind of deal. And I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. Well, David, this went by fast. I enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. Look forward to what you have on store for us next week. This was a great show. Why don't you go ahead and give out your contact information? I kind of stopped you at the last juncture. Take your time and go ahead and do it, and I'll make sure it comes out again on a commercial basis.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, we can be reached at the phone number is area code 909-945-5000. And the website is www.lawbbg.com.
Hey, absolutely fantastic. Hey, David, stay safe, stay happy. Go fishing, for Pete's sake. It's, especially if you're out in the ocean, it'll be cooler, right?
Oh, you bet. I'm headed that way. I'm going Sunday. We're going to go tuna fishing, and I'm going to try and get away from this 100+ degree weather. It's been kind of crazy here.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, stay safe and stay happy, my friend.
I will. You do the same, Bob.
All righty, and we will be right back after these brief messages with our happy birthdays for the day, the secret daily teaching for your life, the Harvard business tip of the day, and interesting but useless facts. I'll tell you all about that after these brief messages. Please don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:41 p.m. Pacific time. It's still 97 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Now, I don't know how this high seems to be jumping all over the place. Right now, it says the high is 99. Before, it said it was 100 and something. In any event, we'll say it's 99. That sounds more reasonable. But it's on its way down to 72, and I can't hardly wait for that. But you know what today is, right? Absolutely. You know what today is? It's somebody's birthday. Oh, yeah. You know what? I actually like this part of the show. September September the 11th. You know, it's a monumental date. We've talked about that actually earlier in the show today, and you know what, we're kind of nostalgic about it. But you know what? Let's get right to it. Let's talk about September the 11th. And this gentleman was born in 1943. He was a percussionist and a musicologist, best known as one of the two drummers of the rock band The Grateful Dead. It's happy birthday, Mickey Hart. Well, here's a guy that was born in 1945, an acoustic guitarist who is widely known for his innovative finger-picking style, which draws on influences. It's happy birthday to Leo Kottke. And finally, here's a guy that we're all going to know. The other guys, maybe not. But here's one you're all going to know. Born in 1967. Singer who is ranked among the top 60 best-selling male artists in the United States, having sold with 16 million albums, not recordings, albums. Happy birthday, Harry Connick Jr. Yeah, isn't that great? Yeah. Well, let's talk about September 11th. Today in history, 1985, baseball. Pete Rose of the Cincinnati Reds gets his 4,192nd career base hit, breaking Ty Cobb's record, which had stood for over 60 years. And here we go. Today, September the 11th, 2001. The September 11th, 2001 attacks take place in the United States. Airplane hijackings result in the collapse of the World Trade Center in New York City, destruction of the western portion of the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, and the passenger airline crash that took place in Pennsylvania. You know what? My heart goes out. It just makes me want to weep. I've seen so many things about the 9/11 horrific terroristic action that it just makes me want to weep. Well, let's talk about our quote for today. It's from an unknown person. And the quote is, "Home is a place where teenagers go to refuel." Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what happens. That's where teenagers go to refuel. Well, you know what? It's time for our secret daily teaching for your life. And you know, I talk about this every single day. It's all about having a positive mental attitude. You really can control your own life. It's all through a positive mental attitude. In today's teaching, if you see our planet and creatures on it as needing to be saved, you're bringing about the very opposite of what you actually want. The perspective that our planet needs saving will attract a world that needs to be saved. Move to the place of appreciating the wonder, the beauty, the harmony, and the joy that abound on our planet. Embrace every living thing. Be filled with awe at the magnificence of nature and that surrounds you every single day. If you look for the harmony and peace on this planet, you'll powerfully add your energy to the love, well-being, and joy that is ever present on planet Earth, and you'll also see a new world unfold before your eyes. And it's all about a positive mental attitude. Now, you gotta be reasonable too. You gotta have some common sense and know that a lot of us are ruining the environment. And because I do I believe in global warming. I don't support it. I'd like to get it fixed. You know what? And we can. We ruined it. We can fix it. But we all have to get together to make that happen. Well, it's time for our Harvard Business Tip of the Day. And the management tip today is, get your team involved in onboarding a new hire. Yeah, you heard me. If you want new employees to perform well, you have to get them off to a good start. Now, this means getting help from your team. Assign them the task of bringing their new teammate up to speed and have them share a collective responsibility for his or her success. Ask one person to act as a sponsor and designate him or her to be the go-to person for when the new teammate runs into problems. Now, this is good for the sponsor, who gets an opportunity to demonstrate leadership skills, and the new employee, who can get feedback without having to worry about asking his new or her new manager questions. Now remember that the smallest things actually count. You want to make the onboarding experience memorable in positive ways. Ask the team members to cooperate so that new teammates don't eat lunch alone that first week. You know what? You want to make sure that you create a team environment. That's exactly what you need to do. Well, time for our interesting but useless facts. Yep, I get to where I'm actually liking this thing more. Did you know that xenophobia is the fear of strangers? And everybody has a little bit of that. Most everybody does. We were just talking about in the management tip, the Harvard business tip today. You know, everybody's a little fearful the first time you meet somebody and you get into a new environment. But the fear of strangers is called xenophobia. Here's one for you. Did you know an eagle can attack, kill, and carry away an animal as large as a small deer? Isn't that amazing? I mean, that's amazing, you know. And if you've ever seen a bald eagle, God, they're just gorgeous. They're beautiful. How about this? Did you know that karate actually originated in India, but was developed further in China? That's kind of interesting. And did you know that on average, everybody passes gas at least once an hour? Yep. And that's normal. Now, let me end with this one. Did you know that in Albania, nodding the head means no, and shaking the head means yes? Go figure, right? You never know what's going to happen in this world. Now, do not go away, because when we come back, I'm going to be answering your emails. My first email today comes from Greg Tanner from Warwick, Rhode Island. He's asking about head of household. Yeah, and I'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics at 4:52 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 97 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire. Now the Hyatt just went up one more degree to 99 degrees. It's on its way to 72 degrees. Now, we're coming down to the wire. It's time for me to answer your emails. But before I do that, I want to remind you that this is an entertainment section of the show. And so basically, we're going to try and answer the questions the very best and thoroughly as we can. But, sometimes your emails, the data comes a little sketchy to us, the facts. So we're going to do the best we can to answer them. But always, always, always contact and counsel with a licensed professional. They're always going to save you more money than they cost you, and they're going to give you peace of mind and let you sleep at night. And the nice part about it is to be a licensed professional, they have to have errors and omissions insurance. It's one of the conditions of their licenses, which means that if they give you bad advice, then they don't pay the piper. You do. Or I should say it the other way. They don't pay the piper. The professional does. And that should help you sleep at night. That's what's really going on. That's what we're trying to accomplish here. Now, let's get right to this and know that always, always, always contact that licensed professional. Now, first email up today is from Greg Tanner from Warwick, Rhode Island, asking about head of household and says, my wife moved out last year, leaving me with the children, but we haven't divorced. She refuses to file a joint return with me. Since I provided a home to our children, can I file my return as head of household to get a lower tax rate than I would by filing as married, filing separately? Well, Greg, if your wife left your home during the first half of the year, then the answer to your question is yes. Now, according to the IRS, you also qualify for head of household status if you, though married, file a separate return. Your spouse was not a member of the household, and during the last 6 months of the year didn't live with you at all, and you provided for the qualifying child for more than half the cost of maintaining your home as a household, then that was the main home for more than half the year for your people, then you're going to get it all. It's going to be good. Now, if you need some more information on this, just go to IRS publication 501. That's exemptions, standard deductions, and filing information if you need more details on that. My next email comes from Emily Ann Hively from Cary, in North Carolina, from asking about a Roth IRA pros and cons, and says, our mother lives on Social Security and money from an IRA and is in a low tax bracket. We children disagree about whether she should convert her IRA to a Roth IRA. What do you think? Well, you know what? Here's the deal, Emily Ann. I have way too few of the facts about your family situation to know for sure. But in general, if your mother expects to consume her IRA, she may be best off leaving it as is, since that she pays very little tax on it anyhow. Now, on a conversion to a Roth IRA, her current IRA balance will be taxable and may pile up into a higher tax bracket than she would otherwise actually ever have to pay. But if she's planning on leaving her IRA funds to her heirs, a conversion might make sense. She would pay a modest tax because she's in a lower tax bracket, but on that conversion, make the Roth IRA funds tax-free to her heirs, who may be in a much higher tax bracket at that time. Now, Roth IRA's lack of minimum annual distribution during her lifetime might also allow her to leave more IRA funds to her heirs. So, as I said, consult an expert about the details of your situation. You really need to, and you'll be glad that you did. These are very technical, involved things. All right. My last email today comes from Ian Hoffman from Spartanburg, South Carolina, asking about Social Security benefits, and writes, is it true that Social Security benefits are taxed only when you take them before age 65? You know what, Ian? The answer to your question is no, but Social Security benefits may be reduced when you take them before your normal retirement age if you have earned income. Now, this may seem like it's a tax, but it really isn't. It's just part of the benefits formula. When you reach normal retirement age, this earned income reduction actually stops. Now, let me give you an example of that. If you're receiving Social Security benefits and will not reach your normal retirement age this year or next year, Social Security is going to withhold $1 of benefits for every $2 that you earn over $13,560. Now, regardless of your age, part of your Social Security benefits may be subject to income tax. Up to 50% of the benefits are taxable when adjusted gross income, that's AGI, plus 1/2 of Social Security benefits, plus all of the tax-free interest exceeds $25,000 on a single return or $32,000 on a joint return. And up to 85% may be taxed when adjusted gross income exceeds $34,000 if you're single or $44,000 if it's a joint return. Now take note, normal retirement age varies with your year of birth. So for more details, visit the Social Security Administration's Social Security online at website at www.ssa.gov. And hopefully that's going to help you. Now, I want to thank you for listening to Robert Cardoza Live at the intersection of business and politics. Robert Cardoza Live broadcasts on Spreaker Radio, Roar 1776 Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide every Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and on 405 Media Radio every Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Pacific Time. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com and email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. That's where I get all the emails I deal with here on the show. Now, on my next show, my expert contributor is going to be John Hanson, that little old wine drinker, and my special guest is Angelica Wagner. She's going to be talking about Body Talk and NAFSA, actually it's NAFSA Medical Group. I encourage you to tell all of my friends about our show here at the RLC Broadcasting Network.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I enjoyed producing it for you. Don't forget to join me again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific Time for another installment of Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. In the meantime, I want to tell you how much I really enjoyed the show and being with you today. And it looks like we've got most of our technical problems taken care of. In the meantime, especially tonight and for the weekend, I want you to stay safe. I want you to stay happy. I want you to have a great time. And you know what? Good night, everybody.